Welcome to our bivariate presentation. The question we are answering is whether income, ethnicity, and interest in politics influence how satisfied people are with the government in Venezuela. We're using the Latin Barometer 2007, and there are 1,200 respondents. The tests included are reliability analysis, cross-tabulation, chisq, tau-c, and Kramer's V.
Rationale. During political campaigns, it is important to examine citizen satisfaction with government as opposed to what campaigns are usually based on, which is largely expert opinion. It is important to know who to target with different policies and advertisements, be it income brackets, ethnicities, or interest in politics. This allows governments to see where problems lie and change policies accordingly to fix these issues.
The underlying theme of this article can be summed up in a few quotes. Assessment of the quality of governance has so far relied on expert opinions while largely neglecting citizens' perceptions. If the government can identify the areas that the citizens are most concerned with and can concentrate its effort in these areas, then citizens may register a high level of satisfaction.
Dependent variable index. The following are 10 indicators we used for the dependent variable: confidence in the democratic system, satisfaction with democracy, fairness of income distribution, satisfaction with Congress, political parties, judiciary, and business people, states' ability to solve societal issues, progress made in reducing corruption, and public commitment in serving the people.
Reliability analysis. No indicators needed to be excluded from the summary of measure as they are all closely related. This is a unified movement of indicators because of the high alpha score. Because Cronbach's alpha is greater than 0.60 at 0.8197, we can conclude that all questions are very closely related and can be combined to form an index.
For our first independent variable, subjective income, we hypothesize that there is a positive linear relationship between subjective income and satisfaction. As subjective income increases, government satisfaction also increases. The reason for this, we believe, is that if individuals have enough money to cover the majority of their costs, they will have less cause to complain. The tau-c score showed that there is a weak positive relationship between government satisfaction and subjective income. What this means is that there is a slight relationship between the two, but it's not very strong. The chi-square value of 0.000 indicates that there is a less than 1 in 1,000 chance that the results are due to sampling error. As you can see, our hypothesis was proven incorrect. Individual satisfaction with government is not meaningfully affected by their subjective income. There is an abundance of variation and no conclusive pattern.
For our second independent variable, we hypothesize that indigenous, black, and mulatto groups will have a lower satisfaction with government because of the history of government oppression of these groups. The cross-tabulation of government satisfaction by ethnicity involves an ordinal and a nominal variable. Kramer's V is therefore used to describe this relationship, and with a score of 0.00826, being under 0.15, means that there is no relationship or measurable connection between these two variables. The chi-square value of 0.00826 says that there is less than 1 in 1,000 chance that the data is a result of a sampling error. This means we can rule out the null hypothesis. Turning to the table percentage differences, there are a number of things to observe. For one, our earlier hypothesis that indigenous people would have the most negative opinions of government in Venezuela has been proven wrong. In fact, 44% of the indigenous are in favor of government, while only 24% are unsatisfied. If we turn to the other races, we see that Asians, having the least number of respondents, are the most unsatisfied at 63.2%, while whites are only 40.9% unsatisfied. And while the group that is the most satisfied of all is in fact the indigenous at 44%.
For our third independent variable, we hypothesize that the more interested an individual is in politics, the more opinionated and critical they will be of their government. Therefore, we hypothesize that as interest in politics increases, satisfaction with the government decreases. Contrary to our hypothesis in Venezuela, of those who are very interested in politics, 56.8% are satisfied with their government, while 60.3% of those not interested in politics are unsatisfied. This is the opposite of what we predicted. In Venezuela, as political interest increases, satisfaction with the government also increases. To analyze this relationship, we use Kendo's tau-c, which is a value of 0.28026, which indicates a moderately strong relationship in the crosstab. The chi-square value of 0.0000 indicates a less than 1 in 1,000 chance of the results being due to a sampling error. Therefore, the results are likely to reflect the general public's opinion.
In summary, for our first independent variable, individual satisfaction with government is not meaningfully affected by their subjective income. For our second independent variable, governments should target Asian and white ethnic groups because they are the two least satisfied groups in Venezuela, specifically the white population, as it is the second largest group, holding 32% of the population. Because those uninterested in politics hold the highest percentage of dissatisfaction with the government, 60.3%, the government can capture their attention and interest through increased advertising of their campaigns and policies.
In conclusion, it is important to analyze different factors that can potentially affect political satisfaction using the citizens themselves as opposed to experts. Subjective income, ethnicity, and interest in politics show how different groups respond to government, and with this data in hand, government can respond efficiently and appropriately to problem areas.